Welcome to another beginner's guide to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes in 2020, and this time wait. Damn it! Well, that didn't go to plan. For those of you who've been waiting for a while on this video on Padme, I do apologise. That has been on my to-do list for months now, and every time I've gone to take a run at making this video, something has ground my progress down to a stall. So hopefully this will have been well worth the wait. Hopefully. Without further ado, let's get into the matter at hand. What makes Padme such a great beginner team? Now, first of all, I need to share my definition of a beginner team, because based on some of the comments I had in the last video about the Separatist team, I feel it is important to clarify what I consider an early game team. So when you first start the game, you keep leveling up, and your target, if you're like me anyway, is to get to level 85, max levels, and you take things from there. Now, level 85 is one of the factors I look at where I consider the early game to end. But here's the big question: how can you go for that if Padme is not available until you are level 85? Well, the simple answer is you can't. You've got to wait till you're level 85 to get Padme, therefore there's a bit of a contradiction here. Therefore, why do I consider an early game character? The latter is just the reason. The team you build to work with Padme is the goal. So you can work on that alongside the Separatists, as I mentioned before, forming a semi-Galactic Republic Jedi team, and then when Padme's unlocked, you will have the complete team ready. But what makes Padme so special? It's courage. Unique to Padmé Amidala, the status effect Courage is applied to herself and all Galactic Republic allies actively and passively during the battle. So what does Courage do? During battle, if a Galactic Republic ally has bonus protection, which is seen as purple protection, at the start of their turn they dispel any bonus protection they have and gain 1 stack of Courage for each 5% of bonus protection dispelled. This sounds like there's going to be a lot of mathematics in this, but trust me, it's much simpler when you just view it. So in exchange for this bonus protection, when they are damaging an enemy, Galactic Republic allies and Padme dispel 5 stacks of Courage and deal bonus damage equal to 40% of the target's max health, on top of any original damage of their attack. So this alone can turn subpar toons into heavy hitters purely by allowing them to stack Courage. So if this is what makes Padme's team tick, who goes into the team? Well, there are 4 members that are crucial to a strong Padme team. You've got Padme herself, Jedi Knight Anakin, Ahsoka Tano, and General Kenobi. Each of them has their own purpose in the team that makes it incredibly difficult to justify dropping one or more of them in game modes like Grand Arena, when you decide to maybe undersize a squad, and you usually get a benefit. With this, you don't. So Jedi Knight Anakin, he's the damage dealer of this team. He's got a basic which applies an 80% chance of inflicting healing and buff immunity. Then he's also got an AoE special attack that grants allies critical chance up and offense up for 2 turns. However, under Padme, this AoE attack will also dispel buffs on all enemies, and it also grants bonus protection, which is important for gaining stacks of Courage, to all Galactic Republic allies for each enemy critically hit. Anakin's Zeta upgrade is crucial to making a top Padme team, however, as it allows Padme to take a bonus turn whenever an ally drops below 50% health, or has been defeated, something Anakin himself can do before the Zeta upgrade. Whilst it may not seem important, this bonus turn can turn the tide of the battle, allowing Padme to cleanse her team on the brink of defeat, or stun an enemy that is just making your attacks a lot more difficult than they should be. Alongside Anakin, you've got Padawan Tano, or Ahsoka Tano. Arguably the most annoying component of the Padme team, with her constant attacks at a turn. These occur after Ahsoka's Zeta upgrade, which causes her to assist whenever a Galactic Republic ally, under a Galactic Republic leadership, uses a special ability during battle. Why is this annoying though? Ahsoka's basic is a buff dispel that cannot be evaded, meaning Foresight cannot prevent her from ripping any buffs away from an opponent. Ahsoka is GMY's nightmare. Whilst vital for your team on offense, on defense she makes these teams tick by constantly stripping opposition buffs and progress away from them. Add into this a special heals the team, granting bonus protection and dealing bonus damage if Jedi Knight Anakin and General Kenobi are allies, plus an extra 50% damage if the ally leader is Galactic Republic. This attack can deal crazy damage when stacks of Courage are added on top. Next up we have the Negotiator, and I don't mean the capital ship here, rather the legendary Jedi himself, General Kenobi. An annoying tank in any team in the game, Kenobi becomes a powerhouse under Padmé's leadership. This all comes down to his unique Sorasu, which before its Zeta upgrade causes General Kenobi to taunt for 1 turn if an ally is critically hit. With the Zeta upgrade however, Kenobi will taunt for 1 turn whenever a Galactic Republic ally loses any bonus protection. So in this video that I am showing you alone, think of how many times I've mentioned bonus protection, and then think how many times in battle you are liable to lose bonus protection, either via it being converted into courage, or just because it is lost in battle when an enemy attacks. This Zeta makes Kenobi a never-ending taunting tank, incredibly frustrating for opponents to navigate around, usually requiring a debuff like Mark or Death Mark just to get around him. If they cannot get around him, they'll have to damage him, potentially debuff him, and if that happens, he'll only get stronger thanks to Padme. Whilst courage is the key status effect in the team that you need to build up and stack, Padme makes this an easy task. Her basic attack, which cannot be evaded, grants Galactic Republic allies 10% bonus protection for 1 turn. Her first special dispels all debuffs on allies and grants 10% bonus protection for each debuff dispelled, again for 1 turn, as well as 50% health recovery. Incredibly, her second special is the only part of her kit that doesn't grant bonus protection or affect it. However, allies that add bonus protection are called to assist, as she stuns an enemy for 1 turn, which cannot be dispelled, which with allies that are stacked with courage can create a high damage move as well. Her leadership grants allies plus 50% max health, crucial to stacking bonus protection, whilst the Zeta upgrade also adds the important addition of making all light side allies immune to debuffs, if they have protection up. Finally, her unique grants her immunity to fear, which is naturally very useful if you're facing Darth Revan teams, as well as an interesting effect of making all allies and enemies incapable of gaining or losing bonus turn meter. The Zeta for this unique once again is so important in making this team tick, as it grants allies protection up whenever an enemy attacks at a turn, meaning any mass assist, call to assist or counter attack will deal little to no damage as they will hit a wall of bonus protection. The Zeta upgrade grants allies 40% protection up if Padme is the leader, which cannot be dispelled or prevented, meaning that enemies with buff dispels cannot just simply remove this protection up, unlike others we have mentioned so far. This Zeta in my opinion turns this team from a C or D grade team into an A-B team. Now as I mentioned before, these are just 4 team members, so who should be the 5th? Now that is entirely up to you, as it depends on what is best in your farming progress. Now eventually C-3PO will be the best option, because his presence is not crucial but very important in making Darth Revan and Darth Malak teams much easier to beat. However, prior to these matchups, Barriss Offee, Grandmaster Yoda, Clone Wars Chewbacca, even Jedi Knight Guardian and Coruscant Underworld Police, they are all solid options as a 5th, as they're all relatively slow, they can all stack up courage, and they can all deliver one big attack that can wreck an opposition unit. Now, gear these units up very wisely, as once you get C-3PO you may not want a Relic Jedi Knight Guardian just sitting in your roster without a purpose, but in the early game, which we are focusing on here, they can do a job and they can help you in your progress. Now another question you may be asking is, what do you mod Padme teams for? The simple answer is health. Always health. Speed is normally the go-to suggestion for modding teams in Galaxy of Heroes, but Padme teams actually benefit from not being that fast, sometimes working better if they're extremely slow. For instance, on one of my accounts, Crimson Infernox, my Padme has only 31 extra speed added via mods, but despite not being my first choice team, it has gained 27k in health in exchange. So why health though? Put simply, bonus protection is calculated on the amount of health your character has, and as a result, the more health you have, the more bonus protection you'll gain. Whilst this will not cause you to gain more courage, it does mean you will take less damage whilst you add bonus protection, which grants the team more survivability. Secondary to health, I would focus on offense secondaries and your mods, especially on Jedi Knight Anakin, as you will want every attack you take to hit as hard as possible. Stack courage and then unload on your enemies. Finally, what is it that Padme can and cannot do? Well, she's capable of beating early meta teams up to Jedi Knight and Darth Revan, Even General Skywalker teams are beatable for her given some good strategy and RNG. This team, as I've mentioned, do struggle against Galactic Legends, though, so don't expect too much from this team if you're planning on taking on the Reys and Supreme Leader Kylos of the game. As for how to defend your Padme team on offense, protect your Jedi Knight Anakin. If he dies, the battle becomes so much more difficult, so if up against Jedi Knight Revan, cross your fingers and just hope he doesn't mark JKA, as he is the all-important cog in this team due to his ability to grant bonus turns to Padme and help cleanse and heal the team. Equally, once Padme is gone from your team, remember that bonus protection can be cleansed and courage will be harder to stack, so be sure to clean up fast if that dreaded scenario occurs. As for viability in game modes, in the raids, she seems to have viability in the new challenge tier Rancor raid, which sadly requires Relic 5 characters to compete in. However, considering your entire guild would need these characters at that same Relic level to beat the Rancor raid, and not just this one team, don't forget, I wouldn't make the raid your first reason for building this team. In Lightside territory battles, she is fantastic, whether your guild is doing Hoth or Geonosis. For Hoth, she's a full auto team, you can just sit that down, play it out, no need to worry about it, she'll win the battle for you. In Geonosis, she will grant you much needed survivability against incredibly tough opposition. Relic 5s may not be enough at times in this game mode though, so whilst it's something a lot of guilds will desire you build, don't underestimate it will be a long farm to reach the required power level to compete in this. Now, whilst I believe this covers all the big questions about Padme and her team, if you have any other questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll try my best to answer your queries as best I can. Equally, if you disagree with anything I've said here, feel free to write your thoughts down below explaining why you disagree. I'm always open to constructive criticism. Last time I did a video like this, I'd aimed to make a follow-up straight away, a bit as I alluded to at the start, and that proved a little unrealistic. So I'll not make promises this time about when I'll do a follow-up, but please leave your thoughts below on what team you would like to see in an eventual follow-up, as there are quite a few to dissect, especially for beginner players. So if you'd like to know more about something, please let me know what you're thinking. So thank you very much for watching. If you have a moment, please hit that like button or the thumbs down one if you really feel you must. But just know that both do help me improve the channel as I know what people are thinking, so just please hit one of the buttons. So until next time, thank you for watching. This has been Josh from JJ's Productions, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now, folks.